Good morning, I'm Leslee Lacey. Thank you for joining us. It is 9:08 a.m. and we are starting with breaking news overnight. Hurricane Harvey making landfall as a Category 4 storm slamming on shore on the Texas coastline with more than 100-mile-an-hour winds. Storm teammate meteorologist, we are going to get back up into the 90s. Going to be another hot and humid day, but a little bit more relief for you because we're expecting some rain. It'll feel like about 105. Pretty brutal out there, but here's what's going on. So we've got this high pressure moving out, and that's been bringing in moisture to our area. The remnants of Helene move out. High pressure comes in. That increases chances for rain along the Gulf, okay? Because we'll have an easterly flow. As we look at the 7-day outlook, 50% chance of rain tomorrow, and for the next few days, highs at around 90, and then more rain on the weekend, but cooler temperatures, a little bit cooler. We'll be right back after this.
Leslee Lacey definitely showed me that I can do what I set my mind to. She made Pasco County listen to my concerns.
Leslee Lacey is live for us there now. Leslie.
Yeah, thank you, Jen and Josh. So I'm actually out here at the 300 block of Columbus Drive, right between Michigan and Jefferson in the heart of Tampa. And what we're seeing behind me here is one of the oldest schools in Hillsborough County. This was established in 1906. It is actually the Robert E. Lee Elementary School. It is completely destroyed at this point. I was a sports reporter for years. I was a contributor to the NFL channel on the top 10 shows, and I did that for a long time too. And then I decided to go back to school and yet, you know, work on another degree in meteorology. It weakened substantially from a 5 to a 3 once it got into that shear. The shear acts like a sword fight, comes in. This is further to the south. There it is, right there, right in this area. Now I'm going to bring this in so you can see the roads that it's around. This encompasses the Port Charlotte Seventh-day Adventist School, also Maple Leaf Golf and Country Club. It was not the situation out at Anna Maria Island over an hour ago. Broken up, obviously it's weakening because it hit friction. And that's what happens. It doesn't have any fuel. It doesn't have the gasoline anymore that it got from the warm waters in the Gulf of Mexico. It hit shear, thank goodness. Again, this is moving at about 50 miles per hour, so it's going to be a little bit north of there by now because this is a little bit behind, okay? It just moved again. So just quickly, if you're at Yorkshire Street, Price Boulevard, Atwater Drive, these areas, these neighborhoods, this is where you want to seek shelter, okay? And if we get a little bit tighter in there, all those subdivisions that are around that area. This is the coupling, okay, in the dark blue.
The meteorology aspect of D-Day.
Yeah, it's one of the most important moments in meteorology history. It really shows the importance of an accurate forecast.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's a gentleman by the name of Captain James Stagg, and he actually convinced Eisenhower not to invade, which would have been yesterday on the 5th. Because of the weather. And back then, you know, they didn't have the kind of technology we had, so it really took some brilliant brains to figure things out.
Not even since 2004 has the Category 4 hit.
No, that was Hurricane Charlie. We all remember that one. And what a mess the evacuations ended up being. We are so prepared.
Right.
I'm really proud of our state. I'm proud of our city. I'm proud of the entire Bay Area and the way they're handling it, because it seems like even though, you know, we're looking at something historic proportions of what's happening right now in the Bay Area, it seems like we're really coming together. Yeah. And you know, something really important that the fire department said with Hillsborough County is they said they want you off the street by noon. Yeah. You know, they like you off it now, but by noon, they also said if the winds get up to 50 miles per hour, they're not coming out. St. Croix will be suffering from the aftermath of Hurricane Maria for a long time. When I joined Jennifer Lockwood to deliver donations, we ended up driving through the streets and meeting a resilient former Floridian who felt forgotten in St. Croix.
Because sometimes I think they forget about St. Croix. Because I had nothing mentioned about St. Croix. I got my sister up in the States and she said she had Puerto Rico, St. Thomas, and they don't mention St. Croix at all. It's like there is not a St. Croix.
Monica is one of many people in St. Croix who is living in shambles. When Jennifer and I toured the island, the devastation was still astounding. I discovered this 70-year-old woman living on a small farm ripped apart by Maria.
All this gone.
2 of her goats died. How do you feel about the response that you're getting?
I feel terrible because I'm in for so long and nobody show up to do nothing.
To make matters worse, she's been sleeping under half a roof for weeks. She signed up with FEMA's Blue Roof TARP program, but help never arrived.
At least if they had come and put a cover of the roof for me, that would have been good enough. One day I stand up there and I see the weather change and I ask God, please make the rain fall in the bush, you know, because I'm tired of wiping up and mopping up.
Eventually, a neighbor gave her a small tarp, but rain still comes in. So Jen and I went searching for roof tarps and was surprised at what we found. Well, I've been driving around with Jen all day, probably about 8 hours, and I'm running into people who say I don't have a tarp on my roof. And then we drive by this, and there are thousands of roof tarps sitting right behind here. So I tracked down the Corps of Engineers.
They're waiting to be installed.
But there's an approval process and only so much manpower. So Jen took a donated tarp and organized volunteers to install it.
Thanks for your help. You have been such a good help for me. I appreciate it.
Oh, we're happy. I'm glad I found you.
Monica, like many other Crucians, as they call themselves, know that there is a long haul to rebuild, and many believe that there is room for improving how quickly disaster agencies are able to help people. Welcome back. Continuing to track the tropics. We're still in hurricane season. It is still barely September, but we still have a bit to go here. Let's take a look at what's happening right now. We're really looking at this particular area, and typically for in the autumn, in the fall here, this is a hot spot because this is where we can get a lot of development. It usually happens in the latter half of the hurricane season, not so much off the coast of Africa, although we do have a lot of activity out there, but we can get these systems and these disturbances. This is the area that Helene developed in, okay? And what's going on here is very warm waters, okay? And so we have our current, it's actually, there's a Yucatan current, and it connects with this loop current that brings in those warm waters from the Caribbean and then pushes out into the Florida Gulf current there. So this is what we're looking at. And as you can see, still very warm in the area, a lot of energy, a lot of heat out there to fuel possible disturbances and help them to develop. It does lessen a little bit here, and that is because we had upwelling from Hurricane Helene. Whenever you have a storm that comes in of that magnitude, it really brings up a lot of the colder water in the ocean towards the surface. So the temperatures actually decrease a few degrees, and that's what we've seen. We're at 88 now, and more in the mid 80s. But as we all know, you only have to be at 80 degrees. So still enough energy out there.
Lacey, minor penalty, hooking.
Well, one thing you don't want is to get put into the penalty box. Here's why. First of all, it's very lonely in here. Your team is down a man. You're in here for between 2 and 5 minutes down a guy while they're out there playing. And the worst part is, you're ashamed. Checking allows players to use their body to impede another player when they have the puck. However, you cannot target their head or their back if they're facing the boards. And that elbowing was a penalty. Koharski says, I'm holding here. It's high sticking when the stick lands above the shoulders, and this is clearly tripping. And cross-checking is when you have both hands on a horizontal stick and you use the shaft to push on the other player. And in case you're confused on the referee's motions,
Goes like this. I don't know if that's tripping or hooking.
That's hooking. High stick, slash, cross check, tripping.
and many penalties are left up to the referee's discretion, so it's probably best to stay on their good side. Leslee Lacey, News Channel 8. No goal! Talking about the Arctic blast that's come down here as the jet streams weakened and moved down, bringing in that cold air. And so then you've got low pressure here that's building. And what's going to happen is it's going to tap into those really cold temperatures, bring moisture with it, and that's what's going to create this mixed precipitation here, and then potentially snow in some of these areas, as well as some ice and some sleet. And it will continue to move towards us, but it's not going to be snow by the time it gets to us. It'll just be rain. So cold overnight and the morning. So we got rain Tuesday and also Wednesday morning, a little bit on Thursday. And we really got to look out for that wind chill factor. So as we look at the high resolution model for solar weather day today, because of the cold weather, Tuesday because of the rain and the cold temperatures, moving through on Tuesday throughout the day, and then Wednesday early. So say by noon, it should be out of the way here.
Let's talk a little bit about sports. You're a big sports fan.
I am a huge sports fan. I love all kinds of sports.
And so I don't know if you find yourself in the same situation. We've been dealing with Irma so much.
Yes.
I forgot about all the college football yesterday.
Yeah.
Which I
college
never
football.
do.
I know, and unfortunately, the Bucks and the Dolphins,
Yep.
they didn't get to play their first game. Well, I tell you what, News Channel 8's Annie Sabo is live in our Tampa News Center right now with another update on how the sports world is being affected. Annie? You guys look fantastic. Now, again, these are outfits from the Eduardian area, so I'm the only pirate on board today.